Hey, welcome back to the Peculiar Ones podcast. My name is Mark Campbell. So glad you're with us, whether you're on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Patreon, however you're watching or listening to this, I really appreciate it. I want you to do me a favor and subscribe to it and like it if you're enjoying what we're doing. I'm committed to bringing these to you for this whole year, 2020. And last week we stopped with Kayla's interview with her making a pretty profound statement. I'm just trying to be obedient to what my Creator has for me today, right now, especially at this time in the new year. We always have these big plans, big commitments, big things we want to do, and we miss what's right in front of us. We miss these gifts, whether it's people, lessons, moments, because we're so focused on what's to come that we never really get anywhere. We'll sit back and enjoy this part 2, and we're going to find out what Kayla learned in Israel. Peace. Tell me about what happened in Israel. That was a big thing for you, and I'm not fully aware because we're at such a pace there. You know, and it was beautiful to see you.
Everyone's
and Jimmy,
in their own moments.
Father, daughter, Kurt and Danny, father, daughter, and it was just so. I never wanted to infringe on that because I know how sacred that was. And so, what happened there? Why'd you go there? What'd you see? What'd you learn?
Well, when I was in my biopsy surgery under anesthesia, I was walking through Israel with Jesus.
In your state?
I was in my dream. I was Mary Magdalene.
Really?
And I was
in a dream, like 2,000 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was with the disciples. We were all over Israel, healing people, healing the blind. And,
in your surgery?
It was not things that I ever remember reading in the Bible.
Okay.
So I don't remember a lot of things very clearly, but I remember that's not stuff I've read before. What me and Jesus were doing, it wasn't what was in the Bible. So I don't know what my brain was making up or if this was from God. But then towards the end of the dream, it was just me and Jesus. And he was walking me to this mountaintop that I'd never seen before in my life. And we're praying together, and he was praying over me and telling me, everything's going to be okay. You're safe. And I remember that all of a sudden I wasn't Mary Magdalene and I was back to being Kayla, and I looked at him and I said, did I die during my surgery? Am I in heaven? What is going on? And he just said, no, wake up, child. And I woke up, and the nurse was right there shaking me, trying to get me out.
And you recall at that time when you woke up that I just dreamed that? Okay.
As soon as my mom and my husband walked in the room, when they let them, I said, I was with Jesus. Blah, blah, blah. And they already knew I had cancer. I didn't know yet. And I was just so excited to tell them about my dream that I had while I was under anesthesia. And they have tears in their eyes, and they're like, what do you mean you were with Jesus? We don't want you to go to Jesus yet.
Yeah.
So it was very vivid to me. And I have always wanted to go to Israel since I was a little girl.
Clearly, with the children's Bible and the Sunday school you were running at summer camp.
But I never thought
Kayla's
that
little
I would. I know
Nazi.
my little, forced Bible study
with the cousins. I can't.
I don't think that very many of them are Christians now.
No,
either.
Of course not.
They're going to get there.
Of course not. Not after the concentration camp at Kayla's house. Okay, so then you always want to go.
Yeah. I thought that it'd be something I'd do when I'm old and retired. I never thought that I'd be able to leave my kids and just take off and go to Israel. But so the year that I had cancer is when my dad went to Israel for the first time, and then he went again. And I think he went right before I had finished treatment completely. And I said, oh, next time you go, I'm going. You better take me with you. Thinking it was going to be 4 years from now, because who goes to Israel that much?
Right.
And then 2 months later, he's like, hey, I signed you up. We're going in September. I was like, September what? September next year. And I went, how am I supposed to pay for that? But, we made it work. Found a way. God is good.
Yeah.
And then climbing up Mount Arbel, I was like, wait a second. I've been here before. What's going on here? And I just started getting teary-eyed right away. And I thought, what's God going to tell me here? And then that's when you spoke about leaving it there, leaving our cares and our worries and following God. And I thought, you brought me all the way here just to tell me that? No. But I was so emotional. Sitting there listening to you speak, I thought
that was all.
This is what he brought me here for. And he made sure that that when we went, that was a year of me being finished with chemo treatment.
Right.
By the time that I had gone to Israel.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, a year later, and he brought me here to tell me it's okay. Like, it's still going to be okay from here on out. Just leave your cares here. And before I left for Israel, I had been carrying a lot of anger. I think I was just going through another period of grieving. And so it's so important for me to hear that and to remember, God's got it. And remember that dream. And it was so special.
That gives me goosebumps. And I heard that, and I saw that a lot of people were having quite a moment, and it was
that
beautiful.
was a very special. Yeah,
that was a sacred deal, and the clouds and the
it was so beautiful.
It was gorgeous, and it was sacred, and we were alone there, which never happens.
Yeah,
and it was just beautiful. And then you saw people just really wrestling with what transpired there throughout history, and why God brought them there. And I remember you saying, "I can go home now." And I'm going, girl, it's 3 days in the trip.
I was like, my wrestling, I got it out.
Yeah. And so what were you angry about when you said I was there and I was still angry?
I think because there's like just this certain aspect that I wonder why everyone else's life is easier. Looking around at friends and seeing them with their perfectly healthy children and perfectly healthy bodies. I'm like, my brain is mush after chemo and my body is still recovering. And I have to live with the fear that cancer could return with a vengeance. And so, there's a lot of anger.
So you went up that hill and you just...
And I left it there. And so when we were planning to go to Israel, I thought, I'm going to be so into my Bible. I'm going to study all summer and know exactly every little place that we're going to. But for 3 months, I could not open my Bible. So actually, I'm remembering this now. Mount Arbel was my first time opening my Bible.
No way.
In 3 months when you were speaking. And
wow.
Yeah. Because I just couldn't, I was so upset. You
were angry.
I was.
And we had already been there for 3 days. We had been to Mount Carmel, Caesarea, Joppa, and nothing. No Bible there. And then up Mount Arbel, you went, I've been here before.
Yeah.
I'm going to open the Word. And what did you open to?
I can't remember exactly what I opened to. I do remember that I was reading about, leaving my fears behind.
So Luke 5.
I think
probably. What we there.
Casting our anxiety away. I'm pretty sure that that's what I was reading.
Wow. That was a great moment. And to watch you walking down that hill. And actually, because that was the one we hiked down.
Yeah. And then my fear of heights had to get challenged. About 5 minutes later. It was no one prepared me for that. Jim was like, oh, it's just like a little rock climbing thing. It's not bad. Don't worry.
Pretty gnarly. Yeah, pretty gnarly.
I was shaking.
Were you really?
I was like, I just left my fear up there, but it came back for a second.
And then to baptize you with your dad a few days, 5 days later in the Jordan River, and just to watch this new, and that's when I met you, but to watch, I knew that there was this new sense of purpose and passion and freedom.
Yes.
I think there's a new piece of freedom where this is me. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
And there's something that comes with, we know we're going to make it no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And tell me about that. 27, I'm going to make it, because you're an old soul.
Yes.
People listening are probably going, she's got to be like 70. Already done,
Already done it all.
Yeah.
What makes me know I'm going to make it? Well, I don't know. Jesus.
Yeah. No,
My
not
hope is in
what's going to
him.
make you make it? What's freedom look like to you
What's
now?
freedom?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that, yeah, like you said, I'm just myself, and I'm totally okay. I feel like since I got back from Israel, I'm not carrying that like jealousy with me anymore of other people and their perfectly healthy lives. Maybe I'm a little bit bitter about it still. But I'm okay with my story being what it is because God's going to do something with it. And
I see a lot of
know.
joy in you as you live it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great watching you with your husband and son last night, and there's so much joy. Mm-hmm. Is that a pretending or is that
no? We find joy in the small things now, and I think I just appreciate life so much more. I appreciate all the little things that my son is doing, just knowing that there's other kids like him that don't do those things.
Right. Like saying Nana.
Yeah, saying banana.
Yeah, that's amazing, and that's been the best thing. Like,
yeah, that's been so exciting. Even though he's like only done it like twice now, I'm like, I swear he's saying banana.
Yeah.
He said a word. But yeah, we find joy in the little things, and I feel a lot less guilt being carried over me over the things that I don't do or the things I don't accomplish.
you're not beating yourself up.
Yeah.
Or if somebody's judging you, that's their problem.
Yeah. But even just doing housework, taking my daughter to all her activities, I'm like, you know what? I'm here. I get to do this.
Yeah,
This is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, even if this is all I do with my life and nobody says anything cool about me writing all these books or traveling the world, like, I got to take my daughter to gymnastics.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's so cool. Hey, what's something you don't understand?
Something I don't understand.
What's something right now that you just don't have? Because you have a lot figured out. And you have a lot, I don't know if you realize this, but you have a lot of evidence in your theology and your philosophy of living. You're banking on the promises of your Creator. You've been through the wilderness. But what's something you don't understand?
I think I've been through the wilderness a few times.
A few times?
Or I've been
A lot of
there.
wilderness.
I'm stuck there. I don't know. No.
You might feel stuck there.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
What I don't understand. I think that I struggle with seeing people that are just, like me, loving God so much and being so faithful, and then having just these tragic things happen to them. And I sometimes wonder, like, God, why does that have to be part of our story? Why does that have to be the way that that we bring people to you?
I see a lot of emotion as you even just unpack that. You really don't understand. Not many people do.
Yeah. And I've just, in the last year, especially, I've met so many people. And so to meet a lot of people that are going through their own suffering or losing a child, yeah, it's hard to understand.
I remember when your baptism, you lost a friend.
Yeah.
That didn't know what was walking the earth, and you just got a call.
Yeah.
And somebody that was diagnosed with you.
Yeah, she had been diagnosed long before me. She was battling for a while. But yeah, got the call that she had passed away. And then this week, lost another friend.
How old?
How old was my friend that passed?
When we were in Israel.
She was, I think, only like 23. Yeah.
Yeah. See, you're in deep waters. You're in deep life. You are in a lot of people's lives. And a minister. At 12, I wanted to be a minister. And here you are.
Yeah.
You're a minister.
Trying.
Yeah.
Trying to be.
You are.
As much as I can be.
What lie do you keep telling yourself currently right now? Because you seem like this confident, lovely, human, faithful. What lie?
I still tell myself that, like, I'm inadequate to help people. I don't know the Bible enough, or I'm not close enough to God because I don't pray all day long. I feel that a lot. That I'm constantly telling myself, or even just saying like, oh, I'm suffering so much still, or I'm so busy taking care of my son that I don't have the time to help others. But I'm just realizing, there's a time that I need to just focus on me and my family, but I can help others even in the midst of my own suffering.
I'm pumped to hear that you recognize those as lies. And that's a lot of them. You just rattled those out.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But you recognize those are lies. And what do you do to silence those voices or those lies?
Just remember what God's promises are in his word. And I think I have to sometimes remind myself that my life is just not my own. And so if God wants me to go help somebody, that's what I'm going to do. If I need to pick up the phone and call someone and check on them or whatever it may be, like I just want to be very obedient to that. And not get caught up in my own selfish ambitions. And
how do you determine between a selfish ambition and a dream? I believe dreams are gifts from God.
Yes, that's another struggle I have. Sometimes I'm like, okay, is this thing that I want to do, is it only because, it's going to make me a bunch of money or, but then I also struggle with that guilt of having like money. Like, I don't know, because there's been periods in my life where I've been doing really well financially and I struggle with that. Like, oh, am I allowed to have this much money? Am I allowed to be able to go buy things for myself?
Allowed, like
just because in my mind, I guilt myself over everything. All the little pictures I see of orphans or the homeless person I see on the street. I'm like, am I supposed to just give it all away? Do I give all my stuff away? But then wait a second, what will I have?
So that's a real so you're like an old soul. You are like a prophet. I mean, everything seems to go through the filter.
Oh yeah.
Of what's the filter? Is it what God thinks or what you think, or is it a gut thing, or what's the filter?
Yeah, that's what I'm constantly trying to figure out.
Oh.
Because that's where I'm like, okay, is this something that is my own selfish ambition? Is it coming from God? Is this just me guilting myself?
I think that's all as far as it goes. I think every decision should probably at some point go through those kinds of filters. I don't think that's a struggle. I think that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a struggle. But I think that's really sound. Hey, is this where I should spend my afternoon, my weekend, our money, your money, God? My life's no longer my own.
Yes. Yeah.
It's his time. It's his money. It's his way. We just have to get into the party.
That's hard for me because I'm a control freak. I want everything to be my way. I want everything to be, I'm 27. 27-year-olds are like out drinking every weekend and having a ball, aren't they?
Well,
I don't really know.
Like.
That's what I see on social media. I'm like, oh, I'm sitting here like reading a book, drinking hot tea, praying that my kids sleep through the night. And this is what my friends are doing. They're just out partying, not a care in the world.
Define hero for me. What's a hero?
What is a hero? Oh, you like to ask tough questions on the spot, huh? I mean, no, but I got to think about it for a second.
You got to think about it. Yeah. And if it's a big awkward pause, I have a thing called an editor. We'll shorten that deal down. So what's a hero? Because I think as you think about what's a hero, I think heroes play a big part in our lives. Whether we meet our heroes or not, but we aspire to something about what that hero does or inspires us with. What is a hero to you?
Someone that can inspire you to be a better person, but also they're the everyday people that are helping you and in the thick of it with you. And it's, my heroes are the people that would bring me food when I was in chemo and
who's a hero? Name some heroes. Like sincerely in your life, who's a hero?
Who's a hero? Oh, my mom for sure. I got to give her a shout out. She's had to,
she is a heroic woman.
She's had to go through a lot just watching me go through my suffering and then her knowing that I needed to focus on my son.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of had to take on my diagnosis for me while I took care of him.
And she has 7 children.
Yeah. Yeah. And somehow she was still like super mom to everybody.
And runs a boutique.
Super, yeah.
She's retail.
Kept her business open.
Kept her business open. And how many grandchildren?
8. Yeah.
So your mom, another hero.
My husband, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't realize it, I don't think.
Mm-mm.
But he makes endless sacrifices for us, and he works crazy hours, but I get to be home with our special needs son. And I don't trust very many people to watch him. So that is so important to me.
And I was watching him last night with Everett, and he seems to thoroughly enjoy Everett.
Oh, yeah.
And I just went, how old is your husband?
He's 32.
32. And I went, wow, that's pretty exceptional for Everett. You know, he's got a great dad.
Yeah.
Which is really...
They have a very special bond. Sometimes I'm a little jealous because I'm like, I thought you're supposed to be a mama's boy. Why do you love your dad so much? But yeah, I love it. I've loved seeing him as a dad. And I sometimes don't think that I think about like his heartache enough in it because men don't open up that way.
No, yeah.
And I know that there's a part of him that grieves that like, oh, you know, we don't get to play catch in the backyard. And but he finds his ways to play with him and bond and be rough and tumble.
Well, he's pounding the kid. I was like, what? Oh, you want to squeeze? He's squeezing everything out of this.
Squeezing him so hard. And Everett loves it.
Loves it. And he's like gurgling and he's got to be farting. And it's like he's squeezing like everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Last question. How are you different today in your estimation? Because you can't truthfully answer it. How do you think you're different today because of the journey you've been on? Versus if everything would have gone Kayla's way and you're 27, no cancer, 2-year-old Everett.
Yeah.
How are you different today because of what you went through?
Way less of a perfectionist. And
which is freedom.
And I'm so much more open to letting everybody know, like, I'm a mess. My life's a mess. I don't have it together. Don't even know what tomorrow looks like, let alone the next 5 years. And I'm okay with it.
Wow.
And that is something that a few years ago, like, anxiety attacks would have been happening if I didn't have a 5-year plan. Like,
really?
Yes. And if people knew that my life was a mess or that my marriage had problems, I'd
hold that stuff tight.
Yeah.
And so I guess, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so you're a lot more free and content.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
And I feel like people that I'm around are able to just be that way with me. They can tell me anything. I'm like, I am a judgment-free zone because I feel like I've just done it all. I've made all the mistakes.
Well, and going through all that you have through cancer, it's invasive. But physically.
Oh yeah, you have no privacy.
Emotionally.
I've laid naked on tables while doctors just poke at me.
Yeah, all that. Does something to somebody.
It makes you like, okay, everything's fine. This is me.
Yeah.
I have nothing to hide anymore.
And then you go through life and I'm telling you, it's infectious. Whatever this is, and this being your spirit, and you're young in it. See, I love this. We got to do this again in 10 years because I just can't wait to see the impact you have just in your kids.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking like, some superstar blue check influencer. I'm talking about everybody who spends time with you in short times is blessed. And there's something about that when you walk into the masterpiece you're created to be. It leaks all over the joint, and it's a beautiful fragrance, and it's an aroma of encouragement. And if she can go through that, I can deal with what I'm dealing with. And I'm embarrassed to say what I'm dealing with because it doesn't even compare. It's not even like, I don't even want to mention what I'm dealing with because it would be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm whining over. And so it's really good just to have a cup of coffee with you and to hear your heart and just to know you and to watch you again through your next couple of decades and 50 years from now.
Yeah, I'm
You're
excited.
a Mother Teresa-ish.
Oh, I love Mother Teresa.
Do you really?
I love that you said that. Yeah.
No, it's true. From like, we're going to gather people up and I'm going to put them through my prison Bible camp. to the compassion now that you have. It's interesting because your desire was to be a minister. But if
And
you're
force
circling people up,
Jesus.
but then now you went through what you did, and now you're gathering people up, but there's no concentration camp element to it. It's let's do life together,
Yeah.
which is very much Mother Teresa. Have you read her biography?
I haven't.
Her
I
prayer
need
book?
to.
Her little prayer book? My wife and I
No.
read 2 years ago in Hawaii. It's fantastic. It's got a little teeny
Yeah.
prayer book of her prayers. She's a dynamo.
Yeah.
She's a dynamo. And you are in that spirit.
She was amazing.
Yeah. Kayla, I'm just privileged to walk the earth with you. Thank you for sitting down with us a couple minutes. I hope you're blessed, and I hope that you're encouraged at listeners or on YouTube, wherever you're watching or listening to this. She's now your friend. She's my friend a couple months ago. How do we find your blog?
Castawaywithme.com.
Castaway
Or
with
Instagram,
me.
Castaway with me.
Okay. Right. That's it. Castaway. What does that come from?
Well, my last name is Castro.
Okay.
And my husband is like a diehard fisherman.
Oh, yes, he is. Yeah.
So Castaway with me was actually our wedding hashtag.
Oh, really?
But then whenever I started my blog, I was like, oh, that's going to be my blog name. And our verse is going to be, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men.
No way.
Yeah.
And that was that was the top of Mount Arbel. Unbelievable.
I know. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So crazy.
Here you are, fishing for men.
Yeah.
That's
That was
unbelievable.
so God.
It is all
everything.
Yeah,
Yep.
lines up. So Castaway
He
with me.
orchestrates
You're
it
privileged.
so perfectly.
He does. Always. If you like this, like it. That helps us. And spread it. Subscribe to stuff. Thanks for being a part of our day
Yes.
and our life. And I hope you were blessed. Peace out. Well, I can't begin to tell you what an interview like this does to me. I have notes. I sat down and talked to her, but now that I've listened to the 2 parts, I've taken more notes. And I really wish that I could do a whole podcast on some things that I learned from a 27-year-old woman that I want to apply to my life, but I don't think I'm ready to do that now, nor do I think that you guys would be into that. But I sure would love to sit back and pontificate and wrestle and fit some of the things that she's learned into my life. And I hope you do the same. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to it, like it. If you are in the beginning of this new year and you are really deciding that I want to start making some changes in my life, I want to start simplifying my life, I want to start simplifying my faith, what the heck, where do I start? Take the 30-day challenge. We're calling it 30 for 30. Go to our Tribal Way, The Tribal Way Instagram, or The Tribal Way Facebook, or you can go to the website, thetribalway.org, and we're doing a 30-day challenge, 30 tips and tricks that I've learned walking the earth for 56 years now on some tools, some things, some thought processes, some disciplines I've learned to simplify my life and to simplify my faith. They're going to be 1-minute videos. Maybe if I get carried away, 2 to 3 minutes, and it'll be on the highlight story on the Instagram page or Facebook. But I'm just going to share some things I've learned. Some of it might be helpful. Some of it might not be helpful. Either way, I sure am glad you're taking the journey with it. I hope you stay with us this year. I'm committed to this year, 2020. And if we're seeing some people are growing from it, they're encouraged by it, I'm going to continue to do it into whenever I decide to stop or whenever my creator says, enough, shut your pie hole, move on to another project. But I'm encouraged. I learn from people. I learn from watching people. And just to be able to sit down and park with some heroes that I interact with throughout my life, and most heroes I've met don't wear capes. They're right among us. And so what a joy it is going to be for me to pause for this whole year and make the effort to sit down with some of these greats, men and women that I've met, whether they're doing something professionally, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, something that's just something different. It's going upstream and it's peculiar. I'm going to try to capture it and learn from it, and I hope you come along with me. Either way, if we see you again or not, I hope you have a fantastic year. I hope you step into becoming the masterpiece you've been created to be and seizing those moments that have been sitting up on a tee waiting for you and me just to recognize them, take a swing at them. God bless you.